Hey guys, it's the Walt'sFootball.com After Dark show for July 17, 2024. We're going to be breaking down the 2024 British Open. Going to be doing DFS picks and our bets. As usual, this is what we do prior to every major, and we have the golf guys on for all these shows. So looking forward to introducing them and breaking down the slate and all the bets. Before we do, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As you guys may know, July is halfway over, and that means August is right around the corner. And you can get your August is Gluttony Month t-shirt here. We celebrate all of the 7 deadly sins, and a Gluttony Month is coming. Remember, glutton rights are human rights, so make sure you spread the word with this Gluttony Month t-shirt. We also have a ton of other t-shirts on here, just a wide selection. We have, I don't know where the apron went. We had our Harrison Bucker apron that kind of disappeared. I have to look into that. But we had a bunch of other t-shirts here, so you can get all that. Also, please consider supporting us via super chats, super stickers. As I always say, YouTube ads pay absolutely nothing. The super chats, super stickers have been so helpful. John Sanders and Slew this past week have been awesome. Kevin Kovac, as usual, with his great super stickers. Jerem Degeneron, like you guys have been so helpful. So any further contributions would be really welcome. Just really appreciate it. Also, you can go to Amazon and buy my book. It's called Jerks to the College Years. If you like Jerks of the Week, this is basically the same thing. These are my stories from my 6 years at Penn State. So as you can imagine, I ran into a lot of weird people up there. So definitely check that out. That's another way to support the show. And without further ado, we have the golf guys going from left to right here. We have Butters and Nuggets. Guys, how are you?
I'm doing really good. It seems weird that it's July because actually just this evening I found a tick on my dog. It was like, this is just so late in the season to be showing ticks. But here in the Midwest, we've had lots of rain. It's been just humid. It's just been awful. But other than that, doing great.
How's it going, Nuggets?
It's going. I mean, weather's been crap here on the East Coast. I mean, I think we're dealing with like our 9th day of like 90 plus and like 80% humidity. I feel like I'm in Florida north.
Yeah.
It's just been awful. Luckily I've been indoors the last couple of days. I did a little research tonight and I cashed a plus 1600 Jaron Duran home run. So I'm living kind of in Fat City right now. I also had Teoscar last night winning the home run derby. So it's been a good couple of days. Look, Stephen Coy jumps in. The miracle man from Missouri who does all the storm chasing. So like when you see the new Twisters movie that's coming out this weekend, that's what Steven does for a living.
It's awesome.
So Steven's
we
good
just had
people.
tornadoes somewhere close to here actually yesterday. So
there was one in Chicago too.
Yeah. That's it's pretty crazy. Yeah, the weather's been insane. Yeah, we had ticks as well. I was sitting outside with my kids the other day, and I saw like a tick go into my daughter's hair. My daughter's only 10 months, and like fatherly instincts kicked in. I grabbed it and I smashed it to like smithereens. I was so angry about it. I have never been so angry about a tick in my life. I definitely hear that.
At least you didn't get lice. I unfortunately had to deal with my two youngest my daughter is getting lice as a gift on the last day of summer camp, and we found a place called Close to the Knit, and it's like this like weird place you go to in like the South Shore of Massachusetts. It's like an hour from us, and it's $550 for 2 girls to get completely like their hair blown out and done, but also cleaning out all the ticks.
Yeah.
Luckily, FSA paid for it all, so I was happy with that.
Oh, wow, I'm glad you got that paid for, but that's a lot of money. But I don't know, getting rid of that, it's pretty tough. I had lice when I was like 2nd grade, I think, and I remember that being a nightmare. So obviously, probably much more difficult for my parents to deal with at the time because you don't realize it when you're a kid. But yeah, it's this parenting thing is kind of tough. So all right, let's jump into the slate. We're gonna be going down the list here as usual on discussing each tier, and then as we get through each tier, we're going to talk about our bets as well. So as usual, I feel like Scotty Scheffler deserves his own mention here. He's 12-8. He's much more expensive than anyone else. Bryson DeChambeau is 11-5. So it's a $1,300 difference between Scheffler and DeChambeau, which is insane. But pretty warranted. I mean, Scheffler has been a monster this year. What does he have? 6 wins on the card so far this year. If he sits out the first round of the playoffs, he'll still be in first place. That's how far ahead he is in the FedEx Cup standings. It's pretty insane. So how are you guys handling Scheffler, both on DFS betting wise? I personally am not playing him on DraftKings. I think he's too expensive, and frankly, I think he's too expensive in the betting markets too. He's like 5-1, or maybe you can find 6-1. I just don't think there's any value here. And plus, it's a links course. He hasn't had a good history here, so it's a little different overseas. So I'm not playing Scheffler, but that kind of scares me. So let's go left to right, Butters, and then Nuggets. How are you handling Scheffler?
Well, I can't not fade him, but I just looked at the salary prices here probably about like an hour ago just to kind of get myself familiar, and pretty steep price on him, but number one in the world, probably one of the best course fits for him. I mean, people that are fading him, he could go and you could look at Sunday and he could be up by 5 strokes and 5, 6, 7 strokes and be like, oh wait, shouldn't have faded him. So because he is literally the best in the world. So I mean, you can't fade that, but I understand to try to get the leverage. But if you're fading that and he is in first, and you have to hit the nuts to get anywhere. So I haven't figured out any exposure yet, but it's hard to fade that.
No, I guess how you handle this?
Butters, you hurt my soul.
I always do, right?
You say he's a good course fit, but if you look at Pinehurst, which is like the best comparison to this course, he sucks. Like there's so many waste areas here that Scotty's just gonna be like, what the hell do I do here? I'd rather see Scotty get arrested again than play this golf course. Honestly, the Royal Troon has always been a bad spot for him. Yeah, is he the greatest golfer right now? Absolutely, but everybody's got some kryptonite, and he's going across the pond. Hasn't played in 3 weeks. I have a hard time playing him. If you're 150 maxing, sure, I get it. I'm not betting him. And I'm just not playing him in my 20 max. Like I'm just not doing it in any of my single entries. I'd rather fade him and get leverage on the field because I think there's like 10 other golfers that are going to kick his ass this week.
My strategy this week is very similar to Pinehurst. So, and I didn't fade him at Pinehurst. So I'm not going to fade him here.
I'll say this: like this course requires elite iron play, and no one's better at that than Scheffler. However, like I said, it's a links course, and he has not done well in those. So.
I might bury the lead a little bit, but honestly, scrambling is going to be the best statistic to measure how good you are at this course.
I disagree.
Yeah, not here. I'm gonna beat you on this, and I got stats to back it up. When we get further down, I'll tell you.
Okay, well, I would say approach personally. I actually asked ChatGPT. I was like, I thought. I was like, I would go with approach and then accuracy and then putting personally. And I asked ChatGPT, I'm like looking back at the Royal Troon results, how would you do this? And it gave me approach and then putting, then accuracy. And so it was I reversed the second and third, but I still went with my numbers. Just kind of curious on what ChatGPT thought. Anyway, so we have the next group here, and I think that. If you're not playing Scheffler like Nuggets and I are not, probably want one of these guys unless you're going to Morikawa. We can discuss him as well here if you want. So we have Bryson DeChambeau 11-5, Rory McIlroy 11-4, Xander Schauffele 11-2, John Rahm 10-4, Ludwig Oberg at 10-1, who broke my heart. I had Oberg at 16-1 last week. He was up by 1 stroke after second round. He's up by 2 strokes after round 3. And then round 4, he hit 5 fairways. He missed like every putt imaginable. This guy was a disaster on Sunday. And like the announcers are even like, this is another horrible Sunday for Aberg. I'm like, come on. I wanted to hedge just to know like which guy to hedge with. It was like Scott, and then Morikawa was up there for a while. And then McIntyre came out of nowhere. He had a sprinkler to like save one of his holes. It was absurd. So I was like staring at the TV and like, I have no idea what to do here. Just watching Oberg's self-destruct. Nuggets, you look like you wanted to say something there.
Well, no, because it's funny because the reason I've never played Aberg and Showdown is because ever since the Masters this year, Aberg has failed to get into the top 70 in scoring on a Sunday.
Wow.
He's blown so many tournaments and placement points that he's an auto fade in Showdown on Sundays. Like, I just don't touch him. And if he's got a lead, I bet people behind him, like I bet Bobby Mack to come back and kick his ass, which he did.
Yep.
And at plus, I think I had him at plus 1,000 and plus 550. But that's the point. It's like Aberg is so bad on Sundays. He is like the anti-Tiger, anti-Scotty, anti-Aaron Rye, which we'll get into in a few.
So why do you think that is? Do you have any explanation, or do you just think he's a choke artist?
I just think he's a choke artist. Like, I haven't seen him like win anything of note. And anytime there's a major, he even performs worse. But the fact you can't get into top 70 in scoring when there's only 60 something guys in the field or 70 something guys in the field, and you're getting plus threes, plus fours, and you're the leader. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's like the guy he can't finish. I know that's what she said, but like, seriously, he just can't finish.
Well, in fairness, he's only 24, so maybe in a couple of years, maybe he'll learn how to finish. But at the moment, I have difficulty betting him up here at 10-1. A little too expensive considering all the other guys in the field. And I think he's like 14-1 in the betting market and not going there this week as well. I thought about John Rahm just because he finished second at the British Open last year and he's good on links courses. I feel like no one's going to touch him. I feel like everyone's going to go after either DeChambeau, McIlroy, Schauffele. I mean, Schauffele is won a major. DeChambeau's won a major this year. McIlroy is so close. I think all the ownership is going to go to those three guys, and no one's going to go to Rahm, so that makes me want to consider him. So how are you guys attacking this 10K and 11K range?
Well, I don't know the exact comment that I made at Pinehurst, but like I said, I have a similar strategy. I'm very, very considering going all in on Bryson.
Okay, why is that?
My strategy like at Pinehurst was off the tee, just bombers, and that's what he can do. So what I've been told, I've been reading some places that have actually boots on the ground, and they've been saying that this course is kind of split up into two separate courses. The front nine is very similar to like a Sawgrass Pebble Beach. Where the back nine is more closely resembles Torrey Pines. So the back nine, you are definitely going to need distance off the tee. And from what I was reading, he was hitting 400 off the tee. I can't fade that.
No.
And not only that it was off the tee, it was straight on the fairway. And if it's straight and you're not having any issues, I might just be all in. The only issue with that is I do want exposure to Scotty. So can I play both? That's a lot of salary. So I don't know if I can play both of them in the same lineup. However, it's going to be my amount that I'm going to be playing with Bryson. That's what I'm going to have to figure out. Because I'm going to be looking at Scotty and Bryson. I may have to be fading the rest that's 10K and above. John Rahm, I do think that he's going to gain some steam, actually, because we've kind of seen this year where people look at ownership. They look at they look a couple hours before lock and they say, oh, he's not getting any ownership. Let's try to get the edge. And then that's where the steam happens. And then it kind of comes kind of equal. So, I mean, I think right now he's probably going to be a lot under 10%, but I wouldn't be surprised that he creeps up to 15%. I'm not a big Rory person. I'm kind of feeling that I might have a little bit of exposure with Rory. And that's not to say that he his failed attempt at Pinehurst, but he also hits it long and straight. So, I mean, if that's the angle that I'm going for, regardless of the name, I mean, if that's the angle that I'm going, I may have to try that. But again, it all depends on what I can build for salary. I haven't built anything just yet, but my top two in this range is Scotty and Bryson. I just don't know which one I want to name as. Right now, they're 1A and 1B.
I'll say this: it's going to be tough to play both of them because you're going to have 64.25 left per golfer. I don't. That's going to be really difficult to find those guys in the 5K range. Nuggets, what do you think about these guys here?
Well, again, we disagree because I'm not playing either of them. And the reason is because the problem with Bryson is that tee accuracy is key here, right? And you're saying he's a bomber, yes, but he hasn't been consistent. He's actually lost strokes the last 3 live starts, and that's crucial for the Open here. So he might be bombing in practice rounds, but when it comes to the actual event, pending conditions, Bryson might not have it. I mean, if you're bombing it into 25 mile per hour winds, it ain't gonna matter when it's 25 mile per hour winds. So that's my biggest thing there with him. Honestly, my 2 favorites in this section are Rory and Xander. I know they're expensive, but going back to the scrambling stat that I was talking about, especially here at Royal Troon, back in 2016, the top 5 people that finished were 17th or better in scrambling. So Rory is 12th, and his total driving statistics leads the PGA. And Xander leads the PGA in scrambling, and he's 7th in total driving. So you got 2 guys that hit straight and can save their ass, right? And if you want to look at other guys that scramble, it's Xander is number 1, Hideki. Scotty is 4th. I'll give you that, but I'm not paying 12A for Scotty. Like, I just can't fit anybody else in the lineup. There's some other guys down the list we can get into. I got the top 15 in front of me, but like, it just adds up for Xander and Rory for me. I know they're expensive. I know it's going to be pricey to get in there, but I think you got to pick one and then jump down to the 9Ks, and we'll get into that because my favorite play is in the 9Ks.
I wonder if we have the same guy because so according to my model, Scheffler's number 1. I have Xander number 3 and Rory number 4. So I like those 2 guys in that range as well. I'm playing. I made 2 lineups so far. Usually I do single entry. I was like, I feel strongly about the sports. I did 2 single entry lineups, and I have 1 of each in there. So yeah, we were on the same page there. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of curious to hear who your top play is in the 9K range because that guy's number 2 in my model.
Doesn't sound like Arrow Hatton.
Oh no, actually no. Okay, so we're.
No! I thought it was Hatton because Hatton's my guy this week.
I do have some interest there.
I like Hatton as well. I will say this: he's number 4 for me in the 9K. I like the 9K range for a lot.
I do too. I think the 9K range is just loaded. I mean, yes. Between Hatton actually is. Hold on. Yeah, he is 7th in scrambling. Sorry, 8th. He's 8th in scrambling. But like, he's also when that year that Henrik Stenson won it, he finished 5th. He was 2nd in scrambling, and he finished in 5th place. He was 2nd in scrambling for the whole year, and he just does it. I've already bet him to win it. I got him top 5, top 10. I just feel like this could be a Hatton course, and he just like goes nuclear. The other big one that caught my eye was Fleetwood. Fleetwood is 10th in scrambling. He's been playing well. He just played the Scottish. I also have another crazy stat that I probably should share with everybody. If you played the Scottish Open the week before, 23 golfers have finished in the top 10 at Scottish Open and played in the British Open. Only 2 of those golfers have failed to make the cut at the British Open in the last 2 years. So, like, you're looking at already Bobby McIntyre, Scott, Aaron Wright, Rory, Sanjay, Theegala, Morikawa, Aberg. You're looking at guys that can potentially win this thing. I'm not trusting Aberg at all, but like I'm just like those are the guys that finished, and you're like, wow, there's some correlation there. So there's definitely some like definite sleepers here. Fleetwood for me, going to play basically at home, could be the guy.
Fleetwood is my number 6 in my model, so I like him as well.
Ooh.
I played him last week. I played him last week thinking like last week was his actual chance of winning, and he didn't get there. So
yeah,
I don't think he can win.
Well, I mean, if he gets second, you're gonna be happy. I don't know.
Well, right.
He does choke. I'll say that. But I think he will be there toward the end. And you could probably find the winner and play Fleetwood, I think. And you got 1-2, and that's going to win you probably a lot of money. Matty Ice says Rory Morikawa is a nice start. Yeah, let's get to my.
I don't disagree. I mean, that's my boy Matty. I mean, I don't disagree at all. I said, don't tease me because I'm building a lot of lineup in that way. I mean, I think between Rory Kawa or Roy Hatton, I think you're off to a great start, and you're getting a ton of salary savings.
Yeah, Morikawa is my number 2 guy in my model. He's been incredible this year. Like he's had so many top 4 finishes. 4th at the Open last Genesis Open last week. He almost beat Scheffler at the Memorial. 4th at the Charles Schwab. 4th at the PGA Championship. He was up there in the Masters. He finished 3rd. This guy's been on a tear all year. His strengths are approach, accuracy, and those are the 2 main things I'm looking for in this tournament. Plus, he has a lot of great links experience. So I think that he's a great play, and he's a lot cheaper than some of these other guys. Like I have him ahead of Rory, and I like Rory a lot this week, and so like you do get a lot of savings there. So I love Morikawa. He's number 2. Like I said, Fleetwood is number 6 for me. Love the links experience there. Plus, he's another accuracy plus approach guy. Another 9K guy I like, and this scares me a little bit. It's just in Hatton. I'll say Hatton too, for the reasons you stated. But the last guy here in this range, and I'm gonna probably regret this, is Victor Hovland. Like he has been so up and down this year. Like he finished 3rd at the PGA Championship, and it looked like he was going to turn things around. Then he got 15th at Memorial, 20th at Travelers, but then last week he really struggled, finished 46th. But he's played really well on these courses in the past. He's a lot of great experience here, and his strength is irons play, and I think that's going to be crucial here. So I could see Hovland being a low-owned guy who kind of exceeds expectations, which are pretty low after he struggled recently. So that said, I like Morikawa a lot more. I like Fleetwood a lot more. So I'm not going to get to Hovland in my lineups, but I do have him ranked pretty highly in my model. He's number 10. So
here's my opinion on Hovland.
Gosh.
Sure, maybe he's figured something out, and he'll get it on, and he'll have amazing irons, amazing off the tee. He's still going to 2 or 3 putt every single time. He's a terrible putter,
and he's going to be hitting into the wind. Like that's like I'm looking at some models where like the wind is over 25 miles an hour, and he just sucks.
Yeah, but let's say he sticks 15 feet from the pin every single time. Sure, maybe you'll get like 20% of those as birds, but I just don't trust his flat stick.
I agree there.
I mean, his putting's been pretty good this year, though. I'm gonna pull it up here. He's gained strokes in putting from most of the tournaments this year. Like his putting's like he's lost strokes in only 4 tournaments this year, and only 3 since the Masters.
Yeah, but around the green is terrible.
Around the green's awful. Yeah, but I mean, putting, I think he's been fine. So, but if Nuggets is talking about being around the green being crucial here, then you definitely do not want to play him. If Nuggets is correct about that.
I think I'm correct. I mean, history and statistics are on my side. I believe data doesn't lie, but there's always the 1% outcome.
Yeah. Matty Ice says half the holes you'll have the win at your back, half in your face. Oberg hit a drive 440 today with the win at his back.
He did.
If this turns into like a live course and you only play three days, Oberg would be the number one guy for me.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Speaking of the wind, best comment that I've seen here today regarding the wind would be, it's been swirling, and there may be at times where you think you have an edge, and then immediately it will change. Like let's say that you start out in the front nine, you have the wind at your back, and then you're going in the back nine, expecting that the wind is going to be coming right at you, and then it swirls and it just instantly switches. You could just be unlucky. You could just be absolutely lucky, and taking all advantage of that wind. So because that's swirling, I think it's just going to be very luck of the draw.
I mean, there's 3 sections of this course, right? I think I sent this in the group email earlier. There's holes 1 through 6 that are called heaven, which are the best birdie opportunities, right? There's 3 par 4s that are under 400. There's 2 scoreable par 5s. Then there's holes 7 through 12, which are going to be into the wind, and it's called purgatory, right? There's pot bunkers and gore bushes. Then there's hell, which is holes 13 through 18. And even par is good there. So, it's a lot of really kind of variance there. And depending on where you start, I mean, you could be defeated and be like, I'm already +6. Like, there's no chance I'm going to win. But then you end up on heaven, and then you birdie 6 holes, and you're even. I mean, I expect this tournament to score somewhere in the, I'm hoping it's like in the -15s, but I don't believe it. I honestly think you're probably doing like a -10 under par to win the thing. I think the weather is going to be a huge factor. It reminds me of the U.S. Open in Brookline a couple of years ago that Cam Smith won, where I think he shot like -2 to win it. I just feel like the weather is going to be that bad.
Wow. Steven says Nuggets is also right. What I do is in Twisters is what I actually do outside of literally intercepting tornado in a truck.
Well, I mean, and honestly, Stephen Coy should have been in the movie. Like, in fairness, like, I don't know why the hell he wasn't brought on. Like, he's better looking than Glenn Powell, but that's a whole other story.
Nice. Any thoughts on Brooks Koepka here? I know he gets a lot of love for these majors, but recently his form
is going to bitch quit. He's going to bitch quit, just like
he's
Justin.
back on the blade. He's back on the blade.
He is.
He's back on the blade putter.
Yeah. He's not great links experience, so I was just not really on him. But 9K is pretty cheap. And briefly I saw like 13 out of 13 cuts made. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And I was like, wait, Liv doesn't have any cuts.
Right.
So let's get to the 8K range. There's only one guy I really like here and one guy I like, and then not much else, but there's not many people in this range. It's only looks like 7 guys. You have Cam Smith, Tony Finau, Hideki Matsuyama, Tom Kim, Shane Lowry, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Wyndham Clark. I love Tom Kim. He's 8,300. He's really coming into form lately. I know he missed the cut at the Rocket Mortgage. He finished second at the Travelers. He finished 4th at the Canadian Open and 15th at the Scottish Open. But most importantly, he finished second at the British Open last year. He's played really well in these links courses. He's great with his irons, and he can putt. He's very accurate. He's only 22 years old, so he's coming into form. Like he like went head to head with Scheffler for a while at the Travelers. So it's really impressive what he's doing. And he had a bad start to the season, but like I said, he's really coming into form, and I like his fit on this course. I bet him at 50-1. I think it's a lot of value there. So I like Tom Kim the most here. Also like Shane Lowry. He won the British Open several years ago. Feels like a good course fit as well. Obviously, good on links. And I was very close to betting Shane Lowry. I didn't love the value. I think it was like 45-1 or something. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the CK range?
I don't have a lot of opinions at the moment. I do like Tom Kim with his kind of links experience. He does have pretty good off the tee stats here as well, but I guess if I'm looking at it just right now, he's the one that kind of stands out. I've heard Tony Finau's been kind of dealing with some sort of like neck injury or something. He's got like KT tape or something that's been bugging him on his neck, and I've never been with someone to trust Tony Finau for whatever reason, unless if he's like at the 3M or Rocket Mortgage or something like that. Somehow he just like shows up for those. But I just, he used to be top 10 Tony or even like top 5 Tony, and it's just to win. I don't know if he can or can't here. So this range has me kind of confused, and if I'm already looking at Scheffler and Scheffler and Bryson, I may just skip this whole range altogether and just pick one of those two, pick a 9K, and then just skip the whole 8K range. I haven't decided, but that may be something I might do. I might even consider like playing like 3 in the 9K and just skipping the 8K altogether. I think that was like the optimal route to go in the Masters, I believe it was, or not the Masters. I believe that was the at Valhalla. And I mean, it's a strategy you could do, but I may just fade this whole range altogether.
Yeah, I think you have to. If you're playing Scheffler and one of the 9K guys, like there's no way you can get to that one of them anyways. So, yeah, what do you think about this range, Nuggets?
I hate it, especially with Finau being so chalky and the report about his neck. The only two guys I can recommend with confidence, I think Matty Ice beat me to the punch. Wyndham Clark is one of my faves. I've already bet him to win it. I bet him top 5, top 10. And for as much as it pains me, but he's second in scrambling on the PGA this year, is Hideki. And the only thing I worry about is him bitch quitting. But Hideki, like, you're second in scrambling. It's a major. Can you nut up and win? I mean, like, he finished 6th at the U.S. Open. Like, I kind of have to feel like he's got some balls. For a major. So whatever, it is, I could see him doing something great. And if I'm relying specifically on the scrambling stat, which I am specifically for this course and only for Royal Troon, I usually don't do this for the Open Championship, but looking at it as a whole, like you could do like a Rory Hideki lineup and kind of get weird real quick. And you save a lot of money doing that. I mean, 7,500 opens up the world to me because there's a bunch of guys in the 7s and 6s that I like. I don't want to touch anybody in the 5s because I just want to throw up if I have to do that.
I think that I like.
To be fair, throw Wyndham in there real quick and see what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't like anyone in the 5K range either. But yeah,
but I like 7,300.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. The 7K range, it looks really good. Love T says my pick is Danny. Just checking. Love you all. Maddie says I'm back on the win ham this week as Nuggets pointed that out.
Yeah, I said.
Yeah, he could win this. I mean, accuracy's not great here, but he could beat it with his power. John says, "What new golfer do you think is the next Puka Nakua?" Let me think. I don't think there's a golfer who's going to be the next Puka Nakua. Honestly, it comes around once every decade or so. But if it did have to be someone, I think it's going to be Brendan Rice. It's an inside joke here. And then Leo says, not a football night. Can't wait for the season. Yeah, season's upon us. In a month from now, we're going to be in week 2 of the preseason. So it is going to be here before you know it. All right, let's get to the 7K range. I like several guys here. We start with Jordan Spieth. I'm not going to read off all the names, just guys I like. Obviously, you have to start with Bobby McIntyre. Just won the Scottish Open. Kind of ripped my heart out, but it was going to be Adam Scott if it wasn't him with Oberg. Just needing a -2 on day 4. Just going to get there. Couldn't even hit 6 fairways. McIntyre has he's awesome links courses. I think a good fit for this course. So part of me wants to sell high. So I'm not getting to him in my lineup. I don't think I may have him in one lineup. I'm not sure. But the reason I'm not getting to him is a couple guys here. You have Brian Harman, who won the British Open last year. something Phil Mickelson said kind of stands out to me. He said that playing at the Royal Troon, he thinks it really benefits lefties because if you miss right, like you're really screwed. And so I'll listen to Phil on that one, and that really would benefit Harman and Akshay Bhatia primarily here. However, Bhatia doesn't have any links experience. Harman does, and obviously because he won last year at the British Open, he finished 21st at the Scottish Open this year. I think he's a great fit for the scores. Very accurate, great irons play. Like this guy has what it takes. Obviously, he did it last year. I think he can do it again, and I bet him at 75-1. And then this kind of makes me throw up at Cam Young. So something happened at the Travelers where on Saturday he shot he shot a 59, and then he started Sunday like birdied like the first 5 or 6 holes. Like he looked like he was just on a different plane. Now he finished 9th, and then he finished 6th at the Rocket Mortgage. So I think he's coming in the form here. If you look at his stats, like I say, accuracy is important. Like accuracy doesn't look great. I could pull it up if you guys want, but the accuracy isn't great. But that kind of threw me off a little bit. Looks like he loses strokes on accuracy. However, if you look at the majors, and if he scales back his accuracy like he did at the Masters this year when he finished 9th, he can be accurate if he doesn't lean into his power. And I think he might be able to do that here. Also, he finished 8th at the British Open last year. He finished 2nd at the British Open in 2022. This guy's awesome on links courses, and he's rounding in the form. When he's in form, he can be unstoppable. And like I said, because he can look terrible at times, but right now it looks like he's kind of on right now. So I bet him as well. I think it's 70-1, and he's in my lineups. He might be in both lineups. I'm not sure. So yeah, I like Cam Young a lot as well. Aaron Rai, you have to look at him. He's a super accurate guy. He's great on links courses. Again, part of me wants to sell high on him because he's finished 2nd, 7th, and 4th. I feel like everyone's going to play him, but it might be worth it. Corey Connor's another guy I've ranked highly. Outside of that, in this range, I would like Sepulon Straka, except his putter has become pretty poor lately. It was great at the beginning of the season, great last year. I don't know what's happened with his putter, but if he can fix his putter, he's someone who could win here. I think he finished 2nd last year, the British Open. So what do you guys think about the 7K range? I think it's loaded. A lot of great plays.
I am most likely fading Aaron Rai. I will not play that. I'm most likely am not playing that ownership. I get it. I get why. But people are thinking he's like a top. People are thinking like, oh, now he's in my top 10 of my models and just like that. It's like he was a golfer that was in the 6 or 7K ranges the entire season, and people are thinking like he's just like this new godsend golfer that just came out of nowhere now. It's like, no, if for the way I play, I mean, that ownership, I'm not most likely not even going to attempt that. Minwoo Lee, kind of people are wanting to kind of go back to that as well, saying, oh, it's a links course, we got to play Minwoo Lee. I don't know if I could trust it, and I don't know if I could trust that ownership. Cam Young, I think he's a Corn Ferry Tour golfer. I mean, you just can't win. I get his major record. It's just one of those kind of gut feelings that, I just can't. I don't know if I can go there. I get the whole Harman play, but he hasn't been playing very good here this year. Spieth is super low on his salary, but he's been injured from what I've been hearing. It may be his wrist, and the best thing that he can do is off the tee, which is great, but can he do everything else? We'll see. Again, I haven't built any lineups here yet, but if I'm going through organically and I'm looking at ownership, those are just ones that just kind of make me shy away from. One narrative I'm actually kind of playing as a trend that I've been seeing, and it's been mostly off of the European Tour. And off the European Tour, it started off with Guido winning a week before the Italian Open. Then you got Marcel winning a week before the BMW, which is in Germany. Then you have Ferguson winning before the Scottish Open. He's from Scotland. Then you have Bobby Mack winning week before this week as well, where typically this is the British Open, but it's being played in Scotland. So if you look at the schedule on the European Tour's website, you have, they do have this of the Barracuda as well, but that's also happening this week. But after that, the two tournaments that are left is the Olympics in France, and then you have the Czech Masters. Now I checked, and there is no Czech Republic golfers in the field, unless I may be wrong. However, there are some French golfers, and one of them that I have some interest in is Pavon. On the back nine, it's a long. You're gonna hit it far and hit it straight. That's what he does. I have interest in that. He's kind of burned me after Torrey Pines, but he won Torrey Pines. So, I mean, if this is set up that same way, I've got some interest.
Nuggets, what do you think about Strange?
I hate Pavon.
Would you call him the French cheater? a couple of shows ago?
Yeah, I did actually, because he was, and he still is. I cannot trust the French. The French, they only do they know.
Yeah, especially after the boys, man, it's rough.
Oh, seriously. There's actually a guy right above him. Literally, the guy above him, I'd rather play in Akshay Bhatia.
There you go. I mentioned him earlier.
I know, but he played the Rocket Mortgage, played Travelers. He's got good form going in. My model says he's 24th. But the thing that I didn't account for my model when I built it was wind. And when I was punting around the internet today, if I looked at wind data, about average wind time per speed, him, Rahm, Rory, Bez, and Scotty were the top 5 in all categories. It's he doesn't care about how hard or fast the wind's going. The dude's going to play. So I like that. Just to round out the other ones, Finau was up there, Im was up there, Adam Scott. So for me, I'm already on Akshay. Granted, he let me down a couple weeks ago, but he cashed a couple of first round leader bets for me, so I can't complain. So the way I look at it is, him plus Rory plus Hatton. I'm already feeling like I'm in Fat City, right? Because now I got some maneuvering to do. Throw Akshay into there. I mean, now you got 7,500 for 2 guys left. You're not anywhere near the 5K range.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
My other guy is at 7,200. I forgot about him. I really like him because he's third in scrambling, and I already bet him to win it. And I think he's a complete dark horse. And everyone hates him right now in the DFS community because he's been so consistent all year. They believe this is coming off.
Noren?
Yeah, it's Noren. I've played him in every week-long tournament, and I've just printed money. The dude is just consistent. I mean, he wasn't consistent in the Rocket Mortgage US Open, but he was consistent in the Scottish Open and Memorial. Whenever I played him, I didn't play him in Rocket Mortgage US Open, but I played him in the other two. And he's just printed me money. So
interesting. Going back to Bhatia, I think he's a great course fit. As I said before, if Phil Mickelson's right, this benefits lefties. That's going to help as well. The only hangup I have is that he has not played on links course before, so we just don't know how well he'll play on this. And I usually just try to avoid American players unless they've demonstrated that they're great on links. Some are for sure, but I'd rather side with the Europeans and whatnot. So, but I would be willing to try Bhatia at 7,000. Like I said, I think he's just way too cheap for the course fit and the whatnot. And like I said, the left-handedness helps.
I think the other option here is Thigala.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's just been rocking it. I mean, at 72, you could do worse. I think the guy. I mean, look at that. T12, T32, T48, T4. I mean, the dude is just rocking it. I think there could be worse options. Is there a way to fit the Gala and what is it? Thigala and who are you talking about?
Norn?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have 700 left over, which
I hate leaving that much, but so take out Batia for a minute. 7,700.
There's your Bobby Mack.
Oh, I think I might just got excited. I think I might just found the winner.
What do you want to talk about Bobby McIntyre? Because I didn't really. I talked about it a little bit, but you seem like more.
I do. I mean, Bobby Mack's just been killing it. I'm looking at my sheet here right now. He is 13th in PGA DFS. Yeah, he is a cheater. That is true. But honestly, Buyback's been killing it all. The other one I could suggest, which is a lot further down and then make you move up to a guy. I just think he's a good course fit. But then again, I think people will say like he might still be hammered, which I agree with because he just won it in his home country. I could easily see Bobby Mack just like kind of like miscutting this event. But if history has told us anything, there's only two guys that have missed the cut that have made the cut from the Scottish Open to the British Open. So I think he makes the cut, but he doesn't do anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the other guys in this range? Like what are you doing about Aaron Rai? Because Butter said he's going to fade the ownership. I imagine the ownership's going to be super high on this guy.
Yeah, and I mean he's hold on, he's 5, 10. He's 11th in scrambling. I like Aaron Rai. I have to admit, I've already bet him to win it and top 5 and top 10 this event. I think he's gonna be one of those like just eat the chalk and go for it. Okay.
Interesting. I feel like there's so many guys in this range though. That's what's keeping me off Rye. So like if all these guys didn't exist, like I mentioned Harmon, Young, you mentioned McIntyre, like a couple Corey Connors we haven't really touched on. I like Connors decent deal. Batia too, outside of the lack of Link's experience, like it's a good play, I think. Like there's so many options in the 7K range. I feel like I'm getting like 2 or 3 of these guys. So just trying to avoid that 5K range. I don't like anyone in the 5K range. The lowest I'm getting to is a 6,300 guy. But we could go into the 6K range, and like once you do, there's a name here that just doesn't belong in my opinion. And this is someone that Butter has mentioned. I think it was the second. I think it was the PGA Championship. I'm not sure which one it was, but Sung Jae Im. Like he's
totally a misprice.
He's really cheap. Like if he was 7,900, I would be playing him. Like 6,900 is absurd. I want to pull up like what he's done recently because the overall stats don't tell the whole story for the season with Sungjae. So he started poorly, and then he skipped out on a tournament. He went to South Korea to play this like small tournament. It's a Worry Financial Group Championship or something. I don't know. Like this may have given him confidence or home cooking or something. Like I don't know what happened here, but I don't seriously like ever since this tournament, he's gotten 4th, 9th, 8th, 3rd, 12th, and 4th. 4th at the Scottish Open, so he plays well in links courses. He's good with his irons. Here's the scrambling that Butters talks about. Good with the putter. He's an accurate golfer. He's one of the most talented golfers in the world. He's only 26. He's rounding into form. I feel like this guy is like on the cusp of winning on the PGA Tour, and I bet him. I believe it's 75-1. I think that this is a huge misprice. Like I said, if he was 7,900, he might make it into my lineup. 6,900 is a no-brainer. What do you guys think about Sungjae to start?
You're not wrong. I mean, I think with Sungjae, what's interesting is that Sungjae didn't fit into my model at all, right? But he came into this tournament where he's top 12 in everyone's last 6 PGA Tour events, right? His major finishes have been terrible, right? But he's fared much better here at Royal Trinity. He's 16th in shots gained putting over the last 2 years and 22nd in course fit. So he's outside of my top 20, but he's definitely in the conversation. The other guy who I love here, who I bet outright, and I might be a crazy bastard, and maybe he's getting some steam, is Russell Henley. I mean, Russell, it just fits this course. It is scary how bad he fits this course. I know he's not like he hasn't played in a couple weeks. He did T48 Travelers, T7 for that. The dude might find it here, and he's my heaviest finishing top 5, top 10, top 20 bet of the week.
I like Henley as well. He's pretty high up there among my 6K guys. I believe I think he's the third. I have him as the third highest of the 6K guys, I think. So yeah, I like him as well. To touch on Matty Ice said this too. It was been great, but crap the bed in the majors. So he finished 20th at the British Open last year, and he wasn't even like golfing that well at that point last year. So I think that like given how well he's golfing at the moment, I think that it might reverse. And we're just looking at past history, and things could change in the future. He's only 26, like I said. Like the best golf of his career is still probably ahead of him. So we might be looking back at like 5 or 6 years from now and be like, oh, wow, Sungjae's like pretty good at majors, given what he's done in the past 5 years. He's entering his prime. So I think that he could start doing well at majors. And if people are going to be off of him because of his major history, then I'm definitely going to take a shot on him. So, Butters, what are your thoughts on Sungjae and other guys in this range? There are a few other guys that like the 6Ks, but we'll get to them.
Well, his Korean bobsledding partner is like a third of his ownership, and not many people seem to be talking about him, which is Siwoo Kim. I just every time I've played a 6K golfer that is ungodly chalky, it just burned me, and that just screams a huge fade for me right now. And how many times has he looked good at the practice rounds this year, and then just burned you the entire time, especially at the majors? I don't know if I can play that, especially with the route that I want to play here. I'm probably not. I am most likely out on Sungjae. I'd be interested in some Siwoo Kim though, at about a third of his ownership though. Let's see some other golfers that are around that. Louis Oosthuizen is actually in the field this week, and I've been looking for him all year. But from what I've been hearing of him as well, he is just not accurate off the tee, and I don't want to play any golfer that's going to be in that, what is it called, route or rough or whatever it's called out there. I have no interest because that's essentially just a penalty shot because you're not going to find your ball. Long off the tee, I'd rather go down to like Dean Burmeister. I've kind of played him at every single major here this year. Just long off the tee. May not be as accurate though. But again, he's long off the tee. Interest actually in Keegan Bradley. I mean, if there's going to be some weather, I know it's mostly wind that we're talking about, but Keegan Bradley is a good golfer in the wind, and he's 6,600, and he looks like he's coming in pretty low. And so I have some interest there. I mean, if we're going back up to the Sungjae M conversation, I mean, another golfer I thought of was Davis Thompson, but he's kind of coming in with some ownership here too. So I may, if I want to spend in the same salary, I would actually even consider going back to the guy that everyone always laughs at me for, is Justin Rose. I mean, I seem to always just have a feeling whenever I play Justin Rose, like it just works. And I mean, if I said that earlier that the front nine is kind of a Pebble Beach comp, I mean, he's done very, very well at Pebble Beach. However, does he have the length off the tee for the back nine? Who knows? But he's old and he's played a lot of majors, so I mean, he's got some experience. But it's kind of this. I also do kind of like Ryan Fox, kind of in that range as well. So I mean, there's definitely pivots off of Sungjae M in that range that I'd rather take instead of playing the ownership. I'd rather just, if you're in that range, there's other options to play. If I'm looking more down the list here, I I may be fading both the Højgaards, both Rasmus and his twin brother. Is it a twin brother or is it just a brother? I can't remember here. But if you keep kind of going down the list, I have some interest in Tom Hoagie. I mean, he's a great iron player. He may be more suited for the front nine than the back nine, but I have some interest for him down there at 6,400. And again, he's got a great comp for Pebble, but again, that's the front nine, not the back nine. Anyone else that comes to mind here? Bez seems. I always like kind of playing Bez as well, but I don't know.
No, Bez, I love Bez.
Yeah, if he's coming in lower owned there, I mean, I may even try. I mean, even for similar salary, Ricky Fowler could even have a dart throw there too, because he seemed to kind of. He showed up last year. Maybe he can figure it out again this year. So I mean, people show up differently at these majors.
Real quick on Bez. Do you guys know what that injury was in the Scottish Open? Because he kind of screwed me over in one of my Rainmaker lineups. That lineup would have placed very highly had he not sat out. He withdrew it in round 2. So, any news on that?
No, but I'll dig. I didn't see anything about it.
Oh, there's another 6K golfer I had interest in, and going back to that same trend that I was looking for with the European Tour, Victor Perez. He's a French golfer. And if I'm going with that trend, he's 6,200. I'll have some interest there. I believe there's one other golfer as well that is in the 6K that's French. Oh, yeah. Romain Langoiste. I can't remember. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's 6K even.
Yeah, he just had a great Scottish Open.
Yeah. So maybe that might boost his ownership a little bit just because he played well last week. So, I mean, if I'm ranking the French players, I'd probably go within that order, Pavon, Perez, and then Romain. But I'll have some interest there as well because, again, if I'm continuing on with that narrative.
If I can interrupt.
What's that?
If I can interrupt real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
According to the Bezaton Hoot Instagram feed, which I believe it's his official feed, he was very disappointed for withdrawing from the Scottish Open for jarring his wrist playing out of a bunker. Yep. He needs to follow the doctor's advice and rest it for a few days, and hopefully we're fighting for it again. He hasn't posted anything since, and there's no pictures of any practice coverage. So, Bez might be a WD come Thursday morning.
That's good. That's good research. Thanks for that. Yeah. So knowing that, there's no reason to play him.
No, and Romain I do like because of the Scottish Open. You know, you finish in the top 20 in the Scottish Open, you're going to make the cut. You know, other than the 2 golfers who didn't, who sucked, I like Romain as well.
Yeah, Romain was on my radar for sure. The cheapest guy I got to is Sebastian Soderberg. So he's the number 1 player in the European Tour right now. In his last European, his last 4 European tournaments, he's gone second, third, and second, which is like pretty unbelievable. He's really good with his iron play. That's his strength. So I have a little interest there. I bet him at 400-1. I put $10 on him. So maybe I'll win 4K. It just comes out of nowhere and wins. But I'm probably just throwing $10 down the drain. But I've spent $10 on dumber things than Sebastian Soderberg. Any other 6K guys you like, Nuggets?
Honestly, I mean Stenson only because he's won it here was interesting for me. Adam Scott's another one.
You want to play Phil?
I'm not playing Phil here. No, he's old.
I think I have actually played Phil at every single major this year. And if I fade him here and he top 10s, it's like shooting myself in the foot because it's like, what the hell am I doing sort of thing.
I mean, Adam Scott is a good one to go with as well. I mean, Lucas Glover could be another option as well. And Eric Cole. I think it depends. It's lineup dependent, right? Like you're going to be scraping for these guys if you are going with like a Scotty Rory build already, right? Like you're going to grab like 2 guys from the low 7 and 2 guys from the 6 and pray, right? I honestly think there's better options. I stand behind my Scotty fade. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, Scotty's kicked me in the nuts. I don't know how many times. I'm surprised I still have testicles. But it is what it is. But at the end of the day, eventually the line, it's got to eventually shift back, right? I think Keegan's a good option. Billy Ho. Now, Billy Ho, if you want to go on my scrambling stat, he's top 15. Billy Ho. I mean, granted, he got cut at the Scottish, but before that, he was doing all right. He could make the cut. If you want to make a bet for him to make the cut, Billy Ho could be the way to go. But at 6,500, you could do worse. The one guy I haven't seen, maybe we missed it. Where the hell is Denny McCarthy?
Oh, I think he's like 62, 64.
Is he 62?
He's coming. He did an awful Scottish Open, but yeah, go ahead.
I know he had an awful Scottish Open, but in scrambling, he's sixth in the PGA stats. And if you look at John Deere, you look at Travelers, you look at U.S. Open. I mean, the U.S. Open is comparable to here, right? Because we played Pinehurst. So Denny might be a steal at 6,400. Maybe I'm crazy, but like you add scrambling, you add a Pinehurst, light version. Actually, it's more of a Pinehurst heavy version, and you play Denny. I don't think you do worse because Denny putts. Denny knows how to putt.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Someone else I like here is a couple $100 more. Abraham Answer. He's done really well on links courses in the past. He's really accurate off the tee. I think that could definitely help him here. So 6,600, I think that's a pretty good deal. Who else do I have in this range? We talked about Sung Jae. Ewan Ferguson's another one. He's one of those accurate, and I think he's 6,400. Let's see. Yeah, he's 6,400. He's one of these accurate plus good irons guys. No, he got cut at the Scottish Open as well, which is strange because that's where he's from. But maybe he will rebound. I just think he's a good course fit here. Who is someone who has experiences on these links courses. I
like another 6K guy I kind of have some interest in is David Pugh. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a live guy, but he's shown some distance. He's got third at Live Golf Houston. So I have a little bit of interest there. And just when you're looking at these guys down below, you're really just looking for is there a stat or something, or just like a gut feeling that you feel about playing. I mean, David Pugh, I have a little bit of interest. I believe I played last year. I believe it was Richard Mansell has some distance off the tee here as well. He had a top 10 last week as well in the Scottish Open. So he's also
he fits my criteria. Yeah, I would play him, but I hate playing below 6K. But if I'm making an exception, he's the one I'm making an exception for.
Yeah, he's 5,900. Yeah, he's not a bad play. Only 2 guys made the top 50 in my model who were less than 6,000. You have Rio Hasune 5,700, and someone who I think is a good course fit outside of the links setup is Austin Eckroat, because he's an accurate golfer. He's good on his with his irons, but he's had some terrible links experience. So that means I downgraded him. He's 43rd in my model. Otherwise, if he were neutral on links, he would probably be in the 30, like in the top 30. But yeah, I just can't get to him. Anyone else in this 5K range? This is like anyone stand out is like 3 throwing the dart here because Butters, you said you're going to play Scotty, so I imagine you were definitely looking at this 5K range.
Yeah, I'm looking at like Ben Griffin. He's been showing. Now, granted, these were not as competitive events, but he's definitely shown some interest. He's definitely shown that he can contend. But he looks like, from what I've been reading as well, that he's been kind of having some practice rounds with some of the live guys. So I wonder if he might be interested in joining live. So maybe his mind's not there, but from what I'm reading, that he's been kind of playing decently in the wind. Well, there's some other players that I saw down in this range here. There was one on my mind.
I've got one while you look.
All right, who is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Matteo Manacero.
He did well at the Scottish Open.
Oh, he's gaining some steam for sure. I'm hearing his name all over Twitter.
Yeah, join the club. I mean, the dude is back. I mean, he's got 6 top 15 finishes in his last 11 events, which includes a win and a fifth. His form has shot up to 149th in the world. So this is your chalk Scotty Matteo pairing. Like, I'm going to see like Scotty at like 25-30% tomorrow. I'm going to see Matteo at the same number because you almost need those two guys to unlock everything else, right? I mean, think about it. That's only 17. It's almost 18,000, right? Between those two guys.
Yeah.
So right,
750.
Yeah, and now pick your favorite 7K guy range, which is just like basically you 150 that and you pray.
Right.
I mean, and that, I mean, I get it, but me, I'm just not. I haven't seen him prove it on these hard courses and hard conditions, so that's why I'm avoiding these 5K like lottery tickets. I know you can build some crazy stuff. I'm not arguing that, but what I'm saying is that like you're sacrificing quality over quantity, if that makes sense. Like, is Scotty in the aggregate going to make it up? Is my question.
I just tried to build the most chalkiest lineup I could think of.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Because Scheffler's Manacero, as he pointed out, everyone's going to play Sung Jae, as you guys said, and Aaron Rai. And then I was like, oh, Bobby McIntyre just won. And then who do you have left? You have 9,900, perfect rate for Colin Morikawa. Fits perfectly. So that's I believe to be the chalkiest lineup that I could think of. Butters, did you come up with the other 5K guy?
Yep. Gordon Sargent.
Okay.
Just nukes it off the tee. Granted, he is young.
He sounds like a distant relative of mine.
Gordon Sargent. I have no data on this guy on Data Golf, so
wasn't he the amateur at the Masters last year? If I remember right.
I don't know. I mean, he got cut at the U.S. Open this year. That's all we have for this year.
Hey, Matty, I said a guy named McKibben.
Yeah, I was going to get to the comments after. That sounds like a McDonald's sandwich, but he's actually he's pretty high on my model. I'm looking at him. He's 25th. I have him highly because he's really accurate off the tee, and then his approach is above average. His power is above average. He's not that good of a putter. That's the only hang up I have with McKibben. But McKibben has good course history on links courses. He's only 21 too, so he's keeps getting better. Look at his results. He got cut at the Scottish Open, but that might keep people off. Otherwise, look at his European Tour finishes, which translate to the British Open. So
maybe McKibben's the pivot off of Matteo.
How much is McKibben? Let's see. Let's go back here. McKibben 6,500. So I mean, I think you'd be the pivot off Sungjae.
That's fair.
So yeah, if you go to McKibben, you cut Morikawa, and now you have Oberg money. I don't know. I don't know if you want to go that route. I'd rather have Morikawa personally, but no, I do like McKibben. He's like I said, 25th in my model, so he was someone I was looking at as well. Yeah, so Matty Ice pointing out that. Steven says Bezaden, who has a history of wrist issues, he withdrew from a tournament last fall because of those issues. Yeah, a little scary that he got hurt. And I was like checking on Twitter, I didn't see anything. So yeah, thanks for pointing out that Instagram feed. I have 8 Rainmaker cards, the Rainmaker tier, and Bezaden Hoot is one of the 8. So I'm thinking I might have to replace him. Maybe get like an Adam Hadwin who's like super cheap right now or something.
I found the guy in the 5K that has I saw a comment on here that said, okay, I might have a little bit of interest. Don't know how to pronounce his first name though, but Minkyu Kim. Minkyu.
Minkyu, yeah. Good old Minkyu.
The comments that I have is that he's been flushing it, and then he might be the next dude coming out of South Korea.
Yeah, flushing it down the toilet.
Do we have any data on this guy? He's 23. He's an accurate golfer. It's okay with his irons, I guess. Yeah, he won the 66th Korea Open. How about that? I didn't even know there were 66 Korea's Opens, but there you go. He won it.
I didn't know they had a colon.
I know. It's crazy. But yeah, it looks like some good results from the Korean/Japanese/Asian tour. So yeah, maybe someone to watch out for.
I mean, maybe if you're just looking for like a dart throw to make the cut, and then the rest, and then you got the rest. You got the rest that's 1 through 5. I guess that can get there, but I don't know.
So my problem here with the 5K range in general, and like we're throwing out names. Like, do you see any of these guys we mentioned in the 5K range winning it? Because like I'm looking at the 6K range. If Sungjae Im won this tournament, like, would anyone be surprised? Like, no, right?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Russell's the furthest I went for betting. But.
Russell Henley, exactly. I was going to bring him up next. Would anyone be surprised if Russell Henley won the British Open?
No,
you can't be because he finished 7th at the U.S. Open. He finished. He's had some top 4 finishes as well this year. 23rd at the PGA Championship. Like, he usually plays well at majors, so you can't be surprised if Russell Henley wins. So like I feel like if you're playing these 5K guys, you're just taking away your win equity, and that's what really bothers me the most about this 5K range. That's why I'm just trying to avoid it altogether. Like we threw out some names. I joked about Soderberg, who's done well in the European Tour. He's the number 1 player in the European Tour, but still, like, there's a reason why he's 400 to 1.
Okay, there's a guy that took 8th last year. At the Open, that's in the 5K range, and apparently he loves links links courses too. Last name Sharma.
He did well at the Scottish Open. He was doing well after day 2, I think, or something. I saw his name. Maybe I know he made the cut, and I was like, oh, Sharma. Okay. So yeah, 5th at the Italian Open. Okay, Sharma. I wonder where I have him in my model. I think I deleted him because he didn't do too well. Let's look him up here. Shabukabir Sharma. He's a good putting is his best trait. So yeah, 8th at the British Open last year. So that's interesting. Did well with his irons last year. Obviously, different course, but still. Okay, that's interesting. Before we move on, I gotta ask you guys about this guy. What do you think about Nacho Elvira? Saw his name. I was like, is that a real person? What is this? Nacho Elvira. Anyway, what are you guys doing betting wise? I know, Butters, you're in a state that it does not allow for fun. Nuggets, I don't know, like what you're betting. Like who'd you bet so far in this tournament?
Give me a second. I'll pull it up because I have multiple bets.
Sure. I'll go over the bets I made in the meanwhile. I posted them earlier today. I was going to post them last night, but FanDuel was down for maintenance, which was super annoying. So I'm not going with any of the top guys. Like the top 5 guys in my model are Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, and Ludwig Åberg. But like if you just look at the score I have for them, like there's not that much of a difference between them and the next group of guys. So I just don't see the value with them. So I'm not betting any of the top guys. Like I said, I considered Fleetwood, but he's a renowned choke artist, which that could reverse. Phil Mickelson was known as that once upon a time. So was Peyton Manning. They both won eventually. But the guys I'm betting, Tom Kim, 50-1. This is all FanDuel. FanDuel just had the best prices this week. Tom Kim, 50-1. Cameron Young, 70-1. I know Butter is not a fan of Cam Young, but I think he's really rounding into form. And when he's in form, he can be unstoppable. And I think he's done so well at these links courses that it could just translate to another win. Sung Jae Im, 75-1. I think he's a steal there. I think that's the best value of any bet I made. Brian Harman, 75-1. He won the British Open last year. He's a lefty, great course fit. I know this year hasn't been that great, but he finished 9th at 2 tournaments ago. So maybe he's rounding in the form just in time. And then, as I mentioned before, Sebastian Soderberg, my crazy long shot here to 400-1. All right, so Nuggets, are you ready with your bets?
I am. So I did all of these to win top 5 and top 10. So I got Aaron Rai. I have.
Do you have the odds in front of you?
Oh, sorry. Russell Henley is plus 10,000. Aaron Rai is plus 5,500.
Okay.
I also have Bobby McIntyre at plus 3,500 to win, but I also have a plus top 10, top 5. I also have Terrell Hatton at plus 2,500, and also top 5 and top 10. I also have Xander, not as good, but that works. And Xander is plus 1,100, and Rory at plus 600. But I also have everybody at plus 5 and top 10. The other one is Alex Noren at plus 9,000.
Okay.
And then also top 5 and 10. Granted, it's a little widespread, but I personally kind of hedge because I do a lot of first round leader and second round leader bets. That's why I was on Bobby McIntyre a couple weeks ago. Before that, I was on Fox and who was the other Canadian golfer? There was like, oh my God, this guy came out of nowhere.
I can't think of it.
From RBC.
Is it Connors?
Squibbs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was like plus 8,500, and I got him, and I cashed for like $6,000.
Nice.
Because I'm a sick bastard. I also don't know why people don't do more second round and first round betting leaders, because watch how the leaders do, and then you have all these like literal like studs coming in the afternoon. Conditions could change, but like you see a guy who finished. I remember last week when I bet Bobby Mack, I was like, wait a minute, everyone's going off and they're shooting like +3. Like, what the hell? The afternoon's gonna be better, and like the books can't catch up. So if you're in a position to like live bet, look at those odds and just like go like, wait a minute, he has to get 3 birdies and he's winning the tournament. Like, the odds don't catch up fast enough. So if I can recommend to anybody, especially a tournament like this, see how the first round plays, but maybe go after second round leader bets, because there could be some good value there.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That's something I don't do enough of. So
do you want to know who? You want to know who's 20,000 to 1?
Phil Mickelson?
No. Pavone.
Uh-oh. Well, there you go.
Fine, I'll put $10 on it. I don't care.
Good old French cheater. Maybe he'll.
all
French
three,
cheaters. He's
all
going to
three
be
of the
bounced.
French guys on there are 20,000 to 1, same odds.
For the record, I did make a parlay on FanDuel because there was an option to do who made the cut, and I grabbed 10 of the golfers from the Scottish Open, and
who are they?
I grabbed Tyrrell Hatton, Xander, Ludwig, Aaron Rai, Thigala, Sanjay, Morikawa, Bobby Mack, Wyndham, and Connors. It ended up being a plus 902.
Jeez.
And I put $100 on it.
Is that you were saying that before? Is that top 30 in the Scottish?
No. Just to make the cut.
Oh no, I meant you were talking about guys you liked at the Scottish Open who play at the British
So
Open.
all these guys made the cut at the Scottish.
Okay.
And they're playing in the British.
Okay,
and
got it.
Everyone who I could get that were decent numbers, because everyone's a minus number on this. Like the hardest minus number I have is minus 850 for Xander. Morikawa is minus 700. But when you piled all that together, you got a plus 902 and $100. I mean,
is there a long shot you can add to that to really increase the value?
I'm sure there is, but I couldn't find any of them that were worth it, because I bet Tyrrell Hatton to win as a winner without Aberg, Rory, Scotty, or Xander.
Okay.
And then I bet Tyrrell to win outright at plus 2,800. I bet Aaron Rai to win outright plus 6,000. So FD, I mean, FanDuel definitely has better odds than DraftKings and Caesars.
Is FanDuel somehow owned by Amazon or something like that? That was like a comment that I saw like in the past. Are they like somehow tied to Amazon?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah. Of your outright bets, I like Aaron Rai the most. You have him 60 to 1. He's 9th in my model. I didn't bet him just because I feel like there's got to be regressions to the mean at some point. But I don't. I mean, he's playing so well, and he grades out extremely well in my model. So maybe that regression is going to come in the FedEx Cup playoffs because he's so good in these links courses. So I like your bets. Maybe I'll do a parlay to make the cut. You've inspired me to do that.
Okay, what about a top 10 parlay?
Okay.
Cantlay?
No, we didn't talk about Cantlay at all.
Okay, but
he's not going to even make the cut.
Wow, there you go.
But did you see the groupings? He's still going to suck. He's grouped up with Xander. That's fun.
Xander's going to kick his ass every Sunday, and then Xander's going to take his golf club out and smack him across the ass like the bitch that Cantlay is.
Okay, but what about this parlay? Cantlay, Burns,
no,
Scotty, and Xander, all top 10.
No, Xander and Scotty, no. Xander, yes. I would say Xander, Rory. I'm trying to think of two others that I like for top 20s. Mav McNeely.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him either.
Mav McNeely and either Aaron Rai or Fleetwood. Choose your poison. Or Siwoo. Who's ever got the best odds? I could see that. I don't think Scotty's getting above top 20 this week.
Really? Wow, that's quite.
I know that's just something about this field and where it is, and it's been 3 weeks since he played. Everyone's talking up Bryson like he's the next god. I I just got that weird feeling that Scotty's gonna have a U.S. Open type week.
Yeah, you know what? The fact that he skipped the Scottish Open to practice on these links courses, I don't know. Maybe it might be in his head, but then again, like he's the best. So
I'm not arguing. I mean,
yeah.
Scotty.
I better hope he's not
give
driving.
me a. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Well, you might be confused. It's the left side of the road, after all.
Scotty could give me a 40-shot lead, and I'll still lose by 40. Like I guarantee you, like that's how good the guy is. However, it's just this course, that I am worried about with him. Granted, his scrambling is awesome. Just the other metrics for me just scare me off of him. And the price is just so prohibitive that I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And if I want to solo ship $1 million, which some people are listening to this and are trying to do that. If you fade Scotty, you're instantly different. And there's just a lot of better options out there that you can. This to steal a cheesy line from Moneyball. You can compile Scotty in the aggregate. And if you find guys that are going to finish second and third or first and second, and Scotty finishes like eighth, you've saved the money and you found some other guys to drag you up to bring you to win that millie. So that's what I would look at it as.
Well, if Scotty wins, he may not even be in the winning lineup. Like he'd have to
I would
finish
agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. He'd have to finish like 3, 4, 5 strokes ahead of the second place to be in the winning lineup. But if he wins by 1 stroke, like I don't think he gets there. Or he may depending on the rest of the lineup. But yeah, he's not guaranteed to be in the lineup.
Unless it's literally the 5K guy we picked, that Mateo guy. Unless it's him and Scotty, like there's no way it works.
Yeah.
Here's a comment I saw by someone that none of us have talked about at all that I was even surprised on this comment.
Who's that?
DJ. Apparently dialed
in. Did you say VJ
dialed in the wind?
I was confused about that too. Who's that?
I honestly thought you said your mom.
No.
Because all I heard was, no, I'm not going to go there. My point is that like you honestly thought VJ Singh was going to be a good representation at the British Open. David Duval decided to fucking drop out.
Yeah.
Pussy.
So did you have thoughts on Keegan? Because I mentioned Keegan, but did you have any?
No, Keegan I like, but why did you say VJ? Because now you went from Keegan to VJ.
No, I said DJ, Dustin Johnson.
Oh,
okay. Walter, I heard VJ.
That's what I heard. I was so confused. That's like I couldn't find it in my model.
Okay. DJ is off limits until he divorces Paulina. Like because he's doing too much coke and having kids, which are always fucked up. I mean, granted, I'm not gonna go there. My whole point is that like I'm not touching Dustin Johnson because he has more money than God now, and God bless. Because he can literally, like we saw at the U.S. Open, he could have like actually tried, but then he freaking bitch quit. Like he didn't even finish the second round. I think it was like, was it like +9 or +10 or some shit? And he was like, "F it, I'm out."
Yeah.
So why do I want a guy at the same type of course as the U.S. Open with Royal Troon? Why do I want the same? Why do I want to play that guy here? Like I feel like I'm burning money. Like no, sorry, I'm out.
Yeah, he's 74th in my model. I didn't really give him much thought. So
it could have also just been a one-day thing too. So I'm
bullshit. Him and Koepka are like two peas in a pod. Like Koepka's like trying to fuck a traffic cone about the Florida Panthers, and then the Florida Panthers say "F you" and win the whole thing. Dustin Johnson's like, oh, I already got my titles. I got money. Why do I have to like? Wait a minute, the winds are blowing 25 miles an hour. My wife blows better than that, so screw it. I'm out.
Love it.
I mean, honestly, think about it. Like, what's the motivation for him? There is none.
Yeah. fat
He's
and
got
happy.
money. He's got money. He's got a beautiful model wife. Like, why even waste more than 2 days? Like, I tried. Oh, I'm going to fake a wrist injury. Yeah, exactly. Steven said it best. He's just coasting through life, right? He is 100% right. If I was Dustin Johnson, I'd be doing the same thing. Paulina, I'm sorry my wrist hurts, but blow me.
Yeah. Once you get the once you get like it's like the Albert Hainsworth money, you know. Like remember he was amazing for Tennessee. He got the $100 million from Washington, and then he was terrible.
And then he went to the Patriots and sucked even more.
Yes, yeah. Remember he quit in practice or something like that, and he just wouldn't get up.
Belichick wanted to cut him right there, and they said, "No, you can't." His contraction says he has to make it through the preseason.
Yep. Yeah. So no, I just can't get into someone who's not motivated. But yeah, he certainly needs to.
If you told me he was like bankrupt and had like 10 baby mamas, then fine. But DJ don't need his money. Like it's what's the purse for this one again? It's like 2.8, 3.8, something like that.
It's $3 million.
Yeah,
it is exactly $3 million.
Yeah, he don't care about $3 million. I mean, Liv gave him a ton of money. He don't care. Like you tell me somebody like Tom Kim, Aberg, Scotty don't care about $3 million. This McKibben kid, you know, you told me that $3 million off that, like he's gonna try.
Yeah.
So I'd rather trust the golfers that have. I mean, it's like poker players, right? I'd rather trust guys that have nothing to lose and don't have the money versus guys who are fat and happy and like, I'll just wait it out.
Here's a motivational angle for you. I wanted to bring this up earlier and I just forgot. Bryson DeChambeau, he got screwed out of the Olympics. They chose Wyndham Clark over him.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be any motivation there to kind of stick it to Wyndham Clark and also everyone else who kicked them out of the team or just kept them off the team?
I like Bryson.
Is he out of the Olympics or is he out of the Ryder Cup?
I thought it was the Olympics. They chose the four they chose for the Olympics for the U.S. team were Scheffler, Schauffele, Morikawa, and Wyndham Clark. And there people are saying like Wyndham Clark over Bryson. Like, are you insane?
Well, I mean, he's on live and doesn't play 4 rounds, so
right.
I don't disagree. However, if Bryson was on the U.S. team, it would be better. I'm not arguing. Yep. I'm not going to argue that. However, Bryson kind of said "F you" to America when he said, "I'm going to go join Live." Yep. So I kind of don't blame them saying, you know what? You're not playing on the PGA. You're playing in some specialized. It's like playing on the Corn Ferry Tour. Like, how are you going to pick a player from the Corn Ferry Tour to be on the U.S. team? You can't. I mean, but that's the problem with Liv. Is like if Liv had the status and popularity, that's a different story. But for me, like, I understand the decision. I don't agree with it, but like at the same time, like Bryson, like you didn't have to go to Live. You could have stayed here.
Yeah. I don't understand these guys going to Live. I get the money and the 3-day tournaments.
I get the money. Yeah. If I was doing it, I'd do twice on Sunday. But these are the consequences.
Right.
I mean, actions have consequences. You went to Live. You went to get money that was going to basically sustain your family forever. Right? I get it. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing with is now you're complaining that the U.S. team doesn't pick you because you barely show up because you only play 3 rounds. Well, it's it doesn't, yeah, you won the U.S. Open. Great. Awesome. Good story. But it doesn't help you for the next one, right? Because now we're at the British Open and,
Yeah, I mean, Wyndham Clark could say he won the U.S. Open last year. So
exactly. And he's now playing. He's still playing. And everyone can see him. Nobody can find a freaking Live channel to save their life.
I know. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I get the money. I get the 3-day tournaments. This must be nice. playing all over the world. Seems cool.
If it was me, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like okay. It's almost like God, I hate to say it. Like, remember when like U.S. soldiers would be like, they have to pick a side, right? Like you can either, God, this is gonna be terrible. I'm gonna butcher this. It was an example of like, you could either it was basketball players. You could either play for the U.S. team or you could play for like your home country, like Canada or Sweden or whatever, right? And players would pick for their home teams and they get embarrassed as shit. And they're like, well, to hell with that. I'm going to stick with the U.S. team. But they want to get picked for the U.S. team because they sucked. Right. And they go play for their home team and they get crushed anyway. Like Tony Kukoc, right? He played for Croatia. And then Michael Jordan and Pippen said, F you, you suck. Even though Krause says you're amazing. And they held him down. The U.S. team won by like 90 points against Croatia.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point is that like you made a decision, live with it, right? Like you went for the money, stick with the money. Like, okay, yeah, I might get my ass kicked, but that's life in general. Like you're gonna get your ass kicked. Stick with it and go for it. Like
my favorite fact from that U.S. team is that Chuck Daly, the head coach, never called a single timeout.
No, he didn't. I know. I was rewatching the Dream Team documentary the other day on NBA Network, and there's one scene of like it's they're all pissed off about I forget who it was, but it was like Bird and Magic versus Michael and Clyde, and they were all pissed off at a center. Oh, they were pissed off at Leitner because Leitner was trying to get some playing time, and they basically did this to him. They said, "Leitner, sit on the bench. This is a grown man time." And it was the greatest 5-on-5 in the history that was never ever televised.
Wow.
Like, oh God, if you could find it, it is like it's called like the Dream Team on NBA Network. And it is like I might watch it like every 2 weeks because it's just like it's 1992, right? So there's no phone cameras, there's no like internet, and people are just like just what Jordan was back then was amazing.
It's crazy.
And it's just like, oh my God. Anyway, I'm digressing. I apologize. Move on.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and move on.
No, we talked about the 92 team a week ago or something on this channel. And it's crazy if you think about it. Like they blew out everyone they played because like it's not like they could empty the bench. It's like, you know, like if you're the top team in college basketball, they empty out their bench. Like they put freshmen out there. They empty out their bench. Who are they putting out there? Like Clyde Drexler. Like it's better than anyone else in the world. So no wonder they just destroyed everyone. It's insane to watch, but you know. And I just can't watch U.S. basketball anymore just because I watch them, you know.
No, the faking and the flopping. I mean, I just, like, you go back and you're like, oh my God, Kobe. If Kobe was still alive, like, the amount of like tackiness I think would be gone. But yeah, it's just so pitiful.
I know it sucks. All right, let's get out of here on this. Who do you guys have winning the 2024 British Masters or British Open? Sorry, not British Masters, British Open. The 162nd, I think, or 152nd. Kind of insane that they've had so many of these. I'll go first. I don't think Scheffler's going to win, although I do believe he deserves to be the favorite. I just think that on these links courses, it could trip him up. I think that Colin Morikawa is going to win. He's been so close. He's got great course history and links, amazing accuracy, great irons play. I think he's been, like I said, he's been so close to winning. I feel like this might be his time. So I'm going with Colin Morikawa, even though I didn't have him as a bet. The odds aren't great. But yeah, that's who I'm going with. Butters and Nuggets, who's going to win the British Open?
I got Scotty and Bryson up top. I got Pavone as a dark horse. I like Hatton too as some chances here too. He's kind of coming in hot. And then I can't fade. I gotta have some interest in Brooks. It's still a major. I mean, he can turn it on whenever he wants to. But I'm not going to fade Brooks either, so I'll have some interest there. But those would be probably my top 5.
Well, who's your number one to win this? Like gun to your head, like you had to pick one guy to win.
The gun already went off. Brooks Butters is dead.
I gotta go with Bryson.
Bryson? Okay. Nuggets, who you got?
Okay, well, I think for me, like, if you're gonna pick a heavy favorite, it's Rory. It's Rory, it's Xander. Those are my top 2 that I've got a lot invested in. If you're looking at long shots, Norin, Henley. If you're looking for somebody in the middle, Aaron Rye and who's the other one I said? LL Hatton. Those are my. So there are 6 guys. I've spread it across the board. I honestly think any one of them can win it. But in full disclosure, I did bet all of them top 5 and top 10. So choose accordingly. I definitely think there's a lot of value out there this week if you don't bet the favorites. But again, keep an eye on those first round leaders. And I think when they do the turnaround for second round, there's a lot of value out there and there's a lot of money to be made. So,
yeah, like I said, Morikawa for me. If I'm going longer shot, Tom Kim. But yeah, I mentioned my bets as well. They're going to be on the site. If I add anyone, it'll be there. Plus, we do some live betting from time to time. So yeah, we'll be we'll definitely be updating this throughout the week. We'll be back tomorrow talking about fantasy football. We'll be back on Saturday after that. Going to be live from Las Vegas talking about the bets I make. No show on Thursday because I'll be flying out to Vegas. Steven says, appreciate you all. Thank you for an awesome show. Walter, Nugs, and Butters. Thanks, Steven. Thanks for joining us. And have fun with those tornadoes. That's so cool, man. But yeah, thanks for always joining us on the show. Slew with the 333 super chat. Thank you so much, Slew. Says, too bad this is the last major show this year. Yeah, I love having you guys on. I hope you guys can join me for a fantasy mock draft or 2 in August. We did that last year, so I'd love to have you guys on.
I'm in.
Awesome. Sounds good. We'll have to coordinate something like that in August. We're going to be doing fantasy mock drafts all throughout August. So I'd love to have you guys on for that. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. Butters and the Nuggets, do you have anything to plug here?
Not much. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is Butters326DFS. I don't do a lot of commenting, but maybe I might start doing some. Maybe I'll gain some followers here. Who knows? I don't know. I could always drive over to Iowa if I wanted to get some bets in. So
just send your bets to me. I'll just beg them for you.
Yeah, fair enough. That I could.
You can always sign up on Bookmaker too. You can bet that from anywhere.
I actually can do the six in Wisconsin. So
you still have $150 credit with me. So whatever. The whole point is, no, I got nothing to promote. Just Nuggets at Nuggets DFS. I post some bets up there every once in a while. I post some winning lineups every once in a while. I'm around for whenever we want to do a season-long show. I'm more than happy to help. It's been a blast. This community is awesome. And if you ever want to hit me up for just some random stuff, happy to help.
Sounds good, guys. Once again, thanks everyone for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Butters and Nuggets, for joining me. I love talking golf with you guys. I always look forward to these shows, and I'm looking forward to our fantasy mock draft. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with Kenny. I assume Kenny. If Kenny is not available, I'll be on myself. So yeah, like I said, definitely doing a show Wednesday and Saturday, but no show on Thursday. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and have a good night.